Hey guys, I'm Amanda. I'm a financial writer with an accounting background, and welcome to the Personal Finance Diaries. Here we talk real money, saving, debt, and smarter financial decisions. Today's topic is the best Stripe alternatives for e-commerce. So, what I want to talk about here are situations where Stripe doesn't end up working out for your business. Now, that could be due to a lot of reasons. Sometimes the fees end up being too high. The flat rate fee structure can be pretty expensive compared to interchange plus pricing, and so that's something to keep in mind. A big issue that a lot of merchants face comes down to account holds and freezes. When you're growing rapidly, Stripe may flag that as fraudulent and hold your funds. So that is a big reason why people look for an alternative. And then the other reason really comes down to customer support. Even though they have live support available, like 24/7 support, a lot of merchants report issues with actually getting in touch with a human because a lot of the support is routed through AI. So I'm going to show you some of the potential options that you could use instead. The first one here is Square. So Square, you've probably heard of it. It's pretty popular, pretty much as popular as Stripe, if not more, I'm not sure. But you hear of it more in the context of like in-person businesses like restaurants or small retailers. But the truth is that a lot of businesses use it for e-commerce too, and it is pretty well equipped for e-commerce. So I do want to show you kind of some of the pricing options available. So you do need to sign up for a plan. They have 3 plans available. Now, they do have a free plan though, so you don't have to worry about having to incur a fee. It just kind of depends on what your needs are. The processing fees are a flat rate structure similar to Stripe, though it does depend on which plan you have. So if you're on the free plan, for online payments, it's 3.3% plus 30 cents per transaction. And then for the plus and premium plans, it's 2.9% plus 30 cents. So that is something to keep in mind. The pricing kind of differs. And then you could also get custom pricing if you process over 250,000 a year. So that is also worth noting. As far as like funding timelines, the standard timeline is like a next business day transfer, though there's also instant transfers and then also same day transfers. But for those two, there's an additional 1.95% fee, Another important thing to look at with a processor are the integrations. So fortunately, Square has like a ton of integrations here. You can really look through their app marketplace to see those. They kind of break it down like the most popular apps. And then you can also filter by category, like accounting and tax, e-commerce, and so forth. So that's kind of a look at Square. So next up is PayPal Enterprise Payments. So this used to be called Braintree, so you may have heard of that before. So this is a good solution for businesses processing payments, particularly e-commerce merchants. And they are popular just because they are such a widely used processor. They process many billions of transactions per year. They're also really good for processing like international payments and then also a range of digital wallets, PayPal, and then others also. So as far as fees go with PayPal, now the standard rate for like cards and third-party digital wallets is 2.89% plus 29 cents. So that's kind of what you're looking at. There are additional fees if it's an international card or something, or if it's in non-USD currency. PayPal transactions in the US, the fee is the same as Venmo, 3.49% plus 49 cents. So that's kind of a quick look there. Now, as far as like the payout speed, it does say here that the credit card payments are deposited into your bank account within 2 to 5 business days after the transaction has settled. So they don't really advertise here like faster funding times, but that's something that you'll have to look into more closely and talk to with them if you're interested. And then as far as integrations are concerned, they do have quite a few of them that kind of goes along with being a large processor similar to Square. And you can filter through them Like there are solutions for like e-commerce stores, so you can kind of look through those, accounting, integrations, bill pay, all these kinds of things that you can look at. So that's kind of a quick overview of PayPal enterprise payments. Luqra is another option that I would recommend looking into. So it's definitely not like a well-known processor on the scale of Stripe or PayPal or Square, but it is a good solution for many e-commerce businesses. It was designed specifically for e-commerce. And really the main differentiator here, like between Luqra and Stripe, is that it really promotes unlimited scaling and no account holds or freezes. So you don't really have to worry as much about Stripe shutting you down. It's also a little friendlier to certain high-risk businesses. It just kind of depends on your industry and your business in particular, but that is another plus. And then also customer support is really a big differentiator here. Because it's a smaller processor, you really get more personalized support, and Luqra's team, they do, like a lot of their team members has hands-on experience running e-commerce stores, and they're available 24/7, 365, and it's US-based phone support. So that's just something to note there. Now for pricing, for in-person payments, it's a little different. It's as low as 2% plus 10 cents per transaction. But for online payments, it's as low as 2.3% plus 20 cents per transaction. So it does kind of depend. Keep in mind that as low as phrasing there, it does depend on your business. Your pricing may be higher than that potentially. And then you can also look into custom processing solutions. So that is something to note. Luqra, they do also have faster funding options available, like same day and next day funding. They don't really have that like listed out on their site. It's kind of buried in their terms and conditions. So I did just kind of want to mention that here. And then also integrations I want to kind of show you. If you count all these up, it is 24 right now, and it is a lot of e-commerce platforms, as you can see. Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce. So they do support a lot of the solutions that you may need. So that's kind of the gist of Luqra. Helsum is another one that I wanted to show you here. It is pretty popular for in-person payment processing, but it's also good for e-commerce. They do have solutions like to build your own online store and things like that. It is especially popular because of the volume discounts that it offers. So I am going to show you that here. So Helsum uses interchange plus pricing, and a lot of times that ends up being cheaper than like flat rate pricing, and the difference becomes more obvious like the more that you're processing. And so I am going to show you the discounts for online payments. So it does depend on the monthly credit card volume. Between $0 and up to $50K, it's interchange plus 0.5% plus 25 cents per transaction. And then it goes on down. So the rate decreases as your volume increases. So as you can see, when you get up to the 1 million to 5 million range of monthly credit card volume, it's interchange plus 0.15% plus 15 cents per transaction. So depending on how much you process, that really could make a big difference there. So for funding time, the standard deposit timeline for credit card transactions is 1 to 2 business days after your batch settles. So that is pretty efficient as is, although they do also offer faster deposits, which is for the next business day. And that is, it doesn't have an additional fee there. It's just next business day if you qualify, and if your bank participates in the RTP and FedNow networks. And then integrations, there are quite a few integrations with Helsum. It does kind of depend on like the industry that you need. Like they do categorize it by industry and then also by function. Now, something to note here, like when you hit all industries, they say that they have 74 integrations available, but that's not exactly true because a lot of these are listed as coming soon. So as you can see, like page 4, all of those are coming soon. and then some of those also on page 3. But there are quite a few that are already in effect, like QuickBooks Online, Wave Accounting, WooCommerce, those kind of things. So you can kind of look through that and kind of filter it as needed. They may have what you need, they might not, or maybe what you need is in the coming soon category where it's not yet live, but could be getting there shortly. So the last one I want to show you here is Finix. Similar to Luqra, it is built for scaling, so it does support a lot of growth. And then it also is friendly to certain high-risk businesses that Stripe may not be, such as like CBD, digital wallets, lending, healthcare, like nutraceuticals, and then also gaming. And then it also uses subscription-based pricing. So I am going to show you that here. This is different than like Square's pricing because with Square, it's really a flat rate processor anyway. But this one, you are required to pay a monthly fee, which starts at $250. So it does kind of depend on your business. And then with that monthly fee, you get lower rates. So you'll pay interchange and then also 15 cents per transaction for online transactions. And then for businesses that process over $1 million annually, you do get custom pricing. So that's another thing to note there, depending on what your volume is. Now, because there is this minimum subscription that you have to pay each month, this $250 monthly, this may not be the best choice for like the smallest businesses, because if you're really small, you may not be able to sell enough to make it worth it. But a lot of businesses will benefit from this, and it can end up saving a lot of money if you have higher payment volumes. And then as far as payout times go, the standard is next day ACH. They do also have same day ACH and then instant transfer, which can deliver funds within seconds. And then for integrations, so it's kind of categorized as, they call these like plugins. They don't really have a marketplace like some of the other ones that's like really easy to look at, but this is what shows up in their documentation. They have plugins for a lot of different areas like CRMs, e-commerce, like Adobe Commerce, Shopify, WooCommerce, BigCommerce, ERPs, form software like DocuSign or JotForm, things like that. So you can kind of look through this and see if it has what you need. So yeah, so these are the processors that I wanted to show you here as being alternatives to Stripe. So the best Stripe alternative, I mean, it really kind of depends what your issue with Stripe was in the first place. So if it had to do with like rapid growth, I would consider looking at Luqra or Finix because those are more growth friendly. Luqra in particular has really strong customer service. I know I didn't really get into that with all the other processors, but it is the only one out of the ones I showed you that has 24/7, 365 US-based phone support. So if you prioritize that, like if you had a lot of issues with Stripe, getting stuck talking to AI, you may like Luqra instead. Hellsome and Square could be good, like if you have a physical storefront and then you also have an online store, could be a good option for those kind of businesses. And then PayPal enterprise payments, maybe if you want to accept like a lot of digital wallet payments or things like that, could be good for those kind of businesses. So yeah, so these are kind of the options I wanted to show you here. It is important to do your research and really kind of look at the specifics of your business before deciding which processor to go with. So thanks for hanging out with me on the Personal Finance Diaries. If you found this useful, don't forget to subscribe. We're all about making smarter money moves. See you next time.